I'm Richard Pyatt. Welcome back to Traction for Your Workplace Goals. Certified EOS Implementer MIchele Mollard helps us work through some of the gray areas, or a lot of them, as it relates to advancing our business and making it successful. Welcome back, Michele.
Well, thank you for having me back, Richard. This is awesome.
Today we're going to talk about improving accountability through stronger L+M A. And in some businesses, that means lease management agreement, but that's probably not what it means here, right?
It does not mean here, and it's not somebody's initials. We were just messing around with that. The L is lead, manage, accountability. So L+M A, those are the three words, but it's actually a math equation. So leadership plus management equals accountability. So L plus M equals A, right? And so now I'm getting into algebra and people are freaking out. I'm like, is it a letter? Is it a number? I'm not going there.
This isn't too complicated.
It's not.
1 + 1 = another. That's what we're talking about. And this formula, this problem, is actually a solution.
It is a solution. And so what I want us to understand today is that you have to have both. You have to have leadership abilities and you have to have management abilities, but it's not micromanagement abilities.
Ooh.
And so I just want to put a caveat, and we'll share today in this next 20 minutes or so, we'll share how that's going to look. So I just want our heads wrapped around leadership. My call to action is if you want these two sheets that I'm going to talk about, email me and I will send these documents to you. But it's actually a self-evaluation that I take my leadership team members on, and they're saying, yes, I'm leading with these 5, and yes, I'm managing with these 5. And if they're not, what are they going to do to fix it? So leadership, on the business, thinking, clear direction. So think about leadership, just kind of casting things forward, inspiration, motivation, creating openings, really inspiring them on the business thinking. Management on the other side is clear expectations. So if I think about creating clear direction and clear expectations, direction, expectations, management, right? So direction is going us forward. Management is the doing it, is the expectations of doing it. Creating an opening is giving a positional opening. And then in the management side, it's about communication. It's about clear expectations that are laid out, but communicated well. Management is all about doing, right? Thinking, leadership, doing, management. They can't be more opposite, but you have to have both. Leadership plus management equals accountability.
For everybody.
For everybody in the organization, every single person, including owners, including I see children of owners being managed and led very differently than the employees. It doesn't matter. We lead them the exact same way. We manage them the exact same way. Just because they're family, it does not mean that we're not holding them accountable the exact same way. So the math does not change, right? Leadership plus management equals accountability. It's not like leadership of my employee, leadership of my kid. Management of my employee, management of my kid meets different accountability. Nope.
That can be tough. And I suppose that could be a whole episode talking about the family dynamics. But does this process help sort out any inconsistencies that might exist?
It is about saying, am I giving everybody in the organization clear direction? And so we have a tool called a Vision Traction Organizer, strategic plan. You've got one, use it. In leadership, we've got to bring that back. We have to be familiar with it. Our leadership team has to be familiar with it, and all our employees should be familiar with it. And so that's what it means about leadership. And then the opposite end, management. Am I giving clear direction? My job, right? The job description, the measurables, the scorecards, the KPIs, the dashboards. What am I expecting of them? And so where are we going? And how are you, management side, delivering on where we're going? And so we're going here, we need to make 600 widgets an hour. And you are making the widgets. And I need you to make 300 widgets now. And then a month from now, I need you to be at 350. And we're going to do this by this, and this. New machinery, new staff, new whatever, right? And we're going to keep growing. But the leadership side is they need to know that we're going to 600 because they just think you're pushing and pushing and pushing because you want to make more money. That's mentality, whether we like it or not. But when we share with them the why and the vision and where we're going and why we're doing it and the impact that we're potentially having by doing that, then they can draw on those expectations all the time and they will deliver it. That's what it's about. And so they're not done in isolation, hence the plus. You must have both.
So the process that you undertake as a certified EOS implementer then is to uncover, I presume, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
where there might be deficiencies in leading and managing and in accountability. You're going to
Yeah.
shake that loose. Is that right?
For sure. So oftentimes we'll ask saying, are you giving your employees the proper resources, the training, the time and attention? That means your time and attention as their leader, the people that they need, right? And so there's so much about that we're trying to uncover. And so I'm saying those things. And as you guys are listening or watching, like you should be writing that down. And now I'm not saying that you're going to go and buy them I don't know, the $4,000 computer or whatever, but AI, right? Like, are we letting them explore the use of AI in their job and being able to do that's a resource, that's a tool, that's a technology that they can use. And are we pushing them to do that or exploring that, right? And so sometimes we are just saying or mandating it, which kind of feels like micromanagement versus leading them to say, hey, we're going here. What do you think the tools are that I need to do to get you from 300 widgets a week to 600 widgets a week? They're saying this machine can't do it. They know that machine better than you do. Better than you do, I
Mm.
promise, if they're on it every single day. And so they're saying, hey, this machine will get us to 450, but at some point you're going to need to buy a new one. And oh, by the way, employee, can you research what that machinery would be to get me to 600? And now they're doing the work. They're inspired, right? That's the leadership part about what we need to do. But there's so much that we can't burden our staff with it because they're there making the product. Let them be a part of the change that you want. That's leading people.
That's a game changer, which,
Mm.
maybe is an overused expression, but I feel like it is because I've witnessed what you're talking about with the
Right.
other outcome, which is a person who doesn't feel part of that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Here's 600 widgets, and they, sort of whisper to the coworker, that's never going to happen. I've witnessed that. And what you're talking about, bringing them along and making them feel as though they're valued, which of course they are, then that changes the whole story.
Yeah. Again, the math problem. What does it equal? It equals accountability. So, how can you get more accountability than somebody that's absolutely engaged in the machinery that they're going to suggest to be purchased, right? Or, okay, maybe I thought it was 450, but maybe if we just added this bolt on, I don't know machinery that well, but we could add this other little thing to it that is half the price of a new one and it'll get us to 550. Well, now I just saved us money. It's not accountability by a stick. It's accountability by inspiration. It's accountability by leading them, but then also managing them, right? Again, remember 600 widgets, 300 widgets. I need you to be a part of the why and how we get there. We act like these things are separate and they're so not separate, right? And so when I manage somebody, it's about what are the expectations? How are they doing them? Are they feeling like they're connected? Are they getting enough information from us to be inspired to do the next thing or take on the next project, right? And so how are we leading them and managing through that? You'll get accountability all day long.
The process of improving accountability that is followed with the L+M A process, you're helping them to be focused on that and see the path that
Yeah.
then results in, I don't know, 550 widgets.
Right, or what yeah, exactly, insert whatever you want from it. We often don't inspire our employees to see the end result and therefore them drive the accountability, right? And so EOS builds a culture of accountability, right? And so you use the example of, well, that's not going to happen at 600 widgets. Not accountable to each other, as opposed to, you know what? This machine can't. But I think we can figure out a way to do what, right? And now there's a culture between you and I as line leaders or as running the same machine or next to each other running different machines, right? And so your part comes to me and my part goes to the next time we keep building on, right? How can we do that? Well, I can do 600 widgets. but you can only do 3. And so you're holding me up because I only have 3 coming into my line because I can't make more because I need it. I bolted on, right? Or whatever it is. So, and there's this culture of accountability that we start to develop, we start to put in place that inspires others, right? And so that's what I'm kind of getting at is if you do leadership well and you do management well, again, absolutely reach out to me for these 2 pieces of paper. You're just going to build this accountability. It's going to happen. It can't not. It's a byproduct. 1 + 1 is 2. It's not 3. It's not 4. L+M is accountability, right? And I don't have to hold people accountable to it. I just inspire them to be a part of it, right? And I know some people are sitting here going, Michele, this is utopia. Yeah, if you don't have people that bleed your core values, you don't have people that, listen to an episode before this about get it, want it, there's so many things. Yes, there's so many other factors on this, but there are people in your organization that are high performers, that are phenomenal, that you are not tapping into their ability to drive your organization forward. I'll bank on it. A lot of us are spending a lot of time managing people that aren't producing as opposed to leading and managing the ones that are.
Whoa, let that spin in your mind for a second. You mentioned a word that has some charge to it, micromanaging.
Yeah.
If someone has a perception that they're being micromanaged, is L+M = A powerful enough to change that story?
Yes, I think you got to lean on the L. Oftentimes, when employees come into businesses, they come in with experiences from their previous employer. And so their previous employer may have been brutal on the micromanagement end. And so when they see a scorecard to say you need to make 300 widgets a week, which breaks down to, I don't know, divided by 5. I don't do math. And so whatever that is, right? This is what I need you to make a week. This is what I need you to make an hour. They feel that that is micromanagement. And so I just want to make sure that we're understanding in our world, having those metrics are absolutely important. Having those metrics is the management, is the clear expectations. This is what I expect from you, and I'm going to inspect what I expect, and that is by the use of what we call a scorecard or measurables. And so we do need to do some leadership, some coaching with employees to say, here at our organization, we think of these differently. And I'm sorry that previously it was a stick and we just were whipping you with it. That is not what we do. We are inspiring you to keep growing with us. Here's the big vision, 600. Here's where we're at, 300, right? And so all of those things. And I think it was funny, Richard, you and I were talking about beforehand, before we started to record, I was just on a call with a brand new customer, and they were talking about micromanagement to your employees may feel like harassment. And talk about a charged word on that, right? And I'm like,
Wow.
are you serious? And she told me more. I won't bore you with the story. And I was like, holy moly, right? Every hour, what are you doing? He's like, what are you doing? I'm going to the bathroom. It's been 3 hours. Like, what? Right? I mean, I just can't even wrap my head around somebody needing to know where you're going every 2 seconds of what's going on. Absolutely micromanagement. Charged word. Harassment is even more charged.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like to her.
Wow.
And so where she was from. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, before we go, tell us again, which 2 sheets are you offering and how do we get them?
So the 2 sheets, you can email me. And so in the show notes is my email. Just email me. And then you can just say, I don't know, L+M = A in the subject line. I think that would be fun. And then just, hey, Michele, I want the 5 leadership practices and 5 management practices. They're 2 different sheets. There's 5 questions on each. It's a yes or no. And you can evaluate all your employees. If you have 7 direct employees, if you ask them, would they say, yes, you are giving them clear direction? Yes, you are giving them clear expectations. I, as a manager, set clear expectations, but they should have a very clear expectation of what I'm delivering to them. That's a difference. And they have the ability to say, you are not providing me what I need. And that's on me. So L+M = A goes both ways.
All right. And get your self-evaluations, or maybe we just call them evaluations if you're going to share them with your direct reports. And that'll be free from Michele. So just go to the show notes and let her know you'd like those assets. Michele Mollard is a certified EOS implementer. She is the one who helps us think about these things here on Traction for Your Workplace Goals. Follow us subscribe wherever you're hearing this or seeing it, and we'll have more episodes for you. In fact, if you happened upon this one and have not heard or seen some of the others, have a look and catch up, because we'd be glad to have you hear the ones that are forthcoming. See you soon, Michele.
See you soon, Richard. Thank you.